Hey, what's going on, Knights? Name is the Gamer. We're back to another epic video. So today, exciting day, exciting week that's coming up. Everybody's already talked about it. I just wanted to kind of pitch in my my little thing, what to look forward to and what to expect. Should you summon for these? Should you not? I'm going to lay it all out here, and I'm going to kind of give where you can use them and where maybe some gear suggestions. I know that there's people who have different ideas and whatnot, or different views on different things. It's just on what I think where they should be used and whatnot. But let's go ahead and jump into it. Guilty Gear is back in action. If you don't know, if you're just joining the game, this collaboration happened about a year ago, or maybe exactly a year ago. You know, with waifus that have many features, you know, they're actually really good. Which is this is the reason. I think the reason why they're adding this into the game again is because people who just joined the game, it limited them, especially in World Arena. These guys are really good in Arena as well, which is why they kind of banned them, so it won't be kind of a leverage for people. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. What's happening? The collaboration week, which is really cool. The 100 medals, I think, is really good. And then, of course, towards the end, the 4 to 5 star summon ticket, which is, I think, is really good. I like everything is good across the board, regardless. They do this thing a lot, pretty often. But we're gonna skip all this, okay? This isn't the point. Oh, and it tells you, okay, cool. So it's gonna be free equipment. I think this is already, oh no wait, it's going to do this again in five days, which is pretty cool. 30% increase and 50%, that's good. All the tours open on Monday, 2 times drop rate, nice. And then 50% points, okay, nice. That's really, that's nice. I really like that. I'm wondering if this is happening, schedule 4:30 Thursday after maintenance to 5:10. So yeah, it's around the same time, this upcoming week. Collaboration pack, I do not know, I haven't seen. So Leaf 25, that's insane. So I did just get a pack called I forgot what pack it was. It was a $30 pack. It gives you like 10 leaves, 900 sky stones. I kind of needed them, so I was like, okay, so this might be a $30 pack. Oops, this might be a $30 pack. Oh wait, 30 covenant bookmarks and 10, never mind, it might be a $50 pack, I'm not too sure. Yeah, and then this is probably $50 and $100 pack, maybe. And then of course, Elfelt's Valentine. Nobody knows what she does. She has a gun, and that's all we know. We don't know any of her skills. She's a ranger fire, which is interesting. I wonder what she's gonna do, because Dizzy changed the meta for an extremely long time. So I'm wondering if this is she's going to change the meta as well. It'd be really interesting. I want to see what she does. We'll unfortunately have to wait unless somebody data mines it. We'll see. But this is really exciting. So, should you summon for them? Well, let's go ahead and just jump into it. I want to kind of talk about what they do and whatnot. I think it's in, there you go. Collaboration. All right, so we'll go order left to right, okay? I do have them, but I don't have them geared. It's not that they're bad. It's just that over time, they're kind of like a step stool, and over time you get better things and better gear and whatnot. So anyways, Soul, he was free when he first came out a year ago. I don't know if they're going to give him free this year again. If he does, get him. So his first skill gains 20 fighting spirit if a critical hit is made, and I believe this does, well actually it doesn't, but if you put, we'll get on that with that in a little bit. Okay. This counterattacks and silences when the enemy uses a non-attack skill, or when the caster is attacked by an elite and boss monster. Damage dealt increases the portion of the enemy's max health, and then Roman cancel. It gives you an extra turn if the fighting spirit is at 100. And then this big attack skill, dispelling all buffs, unable to buff, and for 2 turns, and then does proportionally back based off max HP. What should you gear him? What should you what artifact should you put on him? Okay, so for the longest time, everybody told me that he was so good and to build him for Golem and all this stuff, but the people that were hyping him never really said like, okay, this is the gear and these are the stats you need. You know, even though it was kind of obvious once I found out about it, Let's go ahead and talk about it though. Okay, so the artifact you should put on him, the best artifact you can put on him is Daydream Joker. So increases damage dealt 2.4% of the enemy's max health when attacking. So it might not look like a big number, but it does, like 2.4. Like what is that? That actually does a lot of damage. He does damage based off of max HP here because of that, and then on top of that, these two as well. And he just does tons of damage. So what do you need on him? What I used to have on him is actually a crit damage set, crit damage and crit hit chance, and make sure you have enough crit hit. If you don't have enough crit hit, then he won't do a lot of damage. You don't need to have him on attack or whatever. If you're just gonna use him for dungeons, the best place you can use him is in Golem. Like, he's basically specifically made for Golem, because if you look here, his third skill strips and unable to buff, and guess what, the Golem, at least for 11, I'm not too sure if it works for 13 just yet. It probably does. More than anything, it probably does. He probably still does work because he does do a lot of damage, especially with the defense break. So he enables to buff and strips, which in Golem he does get an attack buff, and if it does have the unable to buff, then guess what? He won't be able to get the attack buff from the little tree thing. So that's a really good skill. And then obviously it says a boss, if he gets attacked by the boss, which is AoE, he will counter attack, and then he will get extra turns. So he will do a whole bunch of damage coming into the boss, especially with the defense breaker. So have a defense breaker, Daydream Joker, have a crit damage set, especially with the crit damage set that's in the shop right now for the arena points. That'd be extremely good for him. So I feel like that's like the place he shines the most. Not saying that he can't be used in PvE, not PvP or anything like that. It's just that I feel like that's where he's used the most right now. For PvP, I feel like he's kind of underwhelming just because of the ice meta at the moment. Because even if he does counter and whatever, he might have a chance to miss with all the ice meta, with Dizzy, with Cibellona. So yeah, so I know it's like, oh man, you can only use him there. That's where he shines. So I feel like that's the best I can put it at. I discussed gear, artifact. If you want to use him in, I don't know if you can use him in Labyrinth or in Abyss. I feel like they kind of nerfed the max HP damage on that. So I feel like Golem is really good. I wouldn't use him in Wyvern because it gives him more combat readiness if it's not an ice hero. So I wouldn't recommend using him there. And obviously the other two, what is it, Banshee? That's ice, so you can't use that there. So Golem is a really good place to use him at. That's like where he shines the most. So that's where I use him, and I'm going to actually try to rebuild him to try to use him for Golem 13 and see if that works. Maybe it does, because even though I use Sarmia, even though Sarmia does a lot of ignore defense damage, he has max HP damage, which does a lot more. Plus, with his additional turns, with his counter attacks, with his just max HP damage, if you're struggling with Golem, this guy will make it so much easier. Just make sure you have the right stats on him. At least make him a little bit tanky if you don't want him dying. If you see that he's dying, maybe put an HP in there. Just make sure you have enough crit hit and crit damage. I don't think the crit damage is as important as the crit hit, because if you don't obviously crit, then there won't be any damage. So just make sure you put a lot of crit. Even if you have to put crit on the necklace, go ahead and do that. I feel like he would still do really good doing that. Okay, anyways, too much talking about Soul. Let's get to, I like to call her Bacon, but she's biking. Bacon, she's so good. Okay, so this girl, I know I didn't look at his Soul stats, but it's because you don't really need to look at his stats. You just, anyways, so let's go ahead and go over his skills, go over his stats, because I'm going to go over his stats for a reason. So she bleeds, 45% chance to inflict 2 bleeds for 2 turns, and critical hit will reduce the caster skill cooldowns by 1 turn. bleeding, 55% another bleed skill if she crits, extra turn, and then here she detonates and gives combat readiness. So there's a couple of things you can do with her, okay? So people have built her for extreme damage for the Banshee. She, like, technically the bleed technically ignores defense, technically, because it does do damage based off of her attack. It says target receives damage proportional to the caster's attack at the start of the turn. So if you use her artifact, Torn Sleeve, 75% chance to inflict bleed for 2 turns after a single attack. If you do that and then just all these bleeds, she's going to detonate and she's going to do a lot of damage. Now, if you want to build her for Banshee, you would want to go for more an attack build, so maybe an attack set or a crit damage set, whatever stats are better on her, because I can tell you to put a crit damage set on her, but if you don't have enough crit hit or you don't have enough attack, but you have this attack set that has really good attack, really good crit hit, and really good speed, put that on her. I'd rather it be more stat efficient than it be like, okay, put this set on her, or put this set, whatever is more stat efficient, you should put on her. Now, if people before, like a year ago when she did first come out, people were just saying, oh, she's just another she's a 5-star Karen mixed with what did they say, Surin. So if you don't know, Surin, and let me see if I can find. So Karen right here, her second skill gives an extra turn if she gets a critical hit. So she lands a defense break and gets an extra turn if she gets a crit. And then she decreases skill cooldown with the crit. So then that sound familiar? And then the Surin, of course, she bleeds. And then with the third skill, like it says right there, triggers all bleeding effects currently inflicted on the enemy. So it's a mixture of both Karen and Surin. People always made fun of her, but she's still really, really good. So if you want to build her for Banshee, if you're having problems with Banshee, she's actually really, really good. I've seen her one-shot Banshees just because of how good, but you have to have excellent gear for that. Now, reason why I brought up the stats, her speed is 113, which is not bad. It's really, really good. If you want to put her on a lot of speed and a lot of crit, she would be an excellent Seaside Bologna killer. So if you do this, she crits, she gets an extra turn, and then she does, like I said, it's technically an ignore defense skill with the bleed. She still does damage on top of her bleed, and then she detonates and then increases combat readiness. I've gone screwed up by Bacons. Sorry, that's what I call her. I've been screwed up by Bacons in the past just because they were super duper fast. They crit and then they just killed the unit that I had there. So if you want to build her for PvP, you can't actually build her for PvP because she technically does ignore defense, and she has more utility than just an attacker. She increases combat readiness, and she just does a lot of damage. So if you want to use her for that, go for it. I don't think it's such a bad idea, especially with all the ice meta out there. So the artifacts you can use on her, I would suggest, thieves have like the best artifacts all around. Like Alexa's basket, you can use Alexa's basket. You can use Alexa's basket with her because she gets so many turns. So the more turns she gets, the more chance she does get to get greater attack. There's her artifact herself, which is not bad on her as well. You can use RNL. If you don't know what RNL is, basically gives you another turn. So more turn cycling isn't bad either. And I think those are the 3 best you can put on her. If there's another one, just put it in the comment section down below. There's some things that I may miss that may look really good on her, but still, really good unit. If you want to summon for her, I really do suggest summoning for her. Usually when it comes to limited units, I suggest getting at least 1. Even if it looks like it sucks, there can be a time where they buff it and it ends up being really good. So 10 out of 10, I do recommend you getting her. Save, like if you summon for this banners, I'm sorry, you should save, because these units are super good. So that's Bacon. Now let's go to Dizzy. Dizzy has been a nightmare. There's been literally so many teams that have tried to kind of counter her, and I think the community has finally gotten a way around her. So if you don't know what she does, she's an extremely good ice mage. She stuns AoE stun with the first skill. AoE decrease combat readiness by 50% and increases the duration of debuffs for 1 turn. And then this one, the ultimate crazy skill, which this attack will always miss. So even if she does have the decreased hit chance, whatever, it doesn't affect her. This skill will always land the 3 debuffs if you have good effectiveness. So that's all you need to worry about. So decreased attack, speed, and hits, which is such an insane skill. And why is she crazy good in PvP? Is because of her insane speed. 115, 2 above Miss Bacon. So why does this screw people up so much? Mostly because a lot of people don't have, first off, the speed or immunity sets. The immunity, like it, some people, if you don't have the team for the dungeon, then you're going to get wrecked by her. I've gotten wrecked by her so many times just because she decreases speed, and she has a lot of speed. You build her with a lot of speed, so she ends up decreasing combat readiness and increasing the debuff duration, which messes up a lot of teams. And on top of that, if she laps you again, she can stun you. So that's why, like, she's so freaking good, and that's why a lot of people try to make counters for her. So where can you use her? Of course, you can use her. I don't know if like when I say PvP, of course I mean Arena and Guild Wars. I don't know if I said that. I should have said that, but I was thinking about it, and I should have just said it out loud. But in in Arena, she's S tier. She's like triple S tier, just because she can mess up your team. You can use her on defense and offense. Like let's say you just build her with a lot of speed, and you have challenge, and let's say you have CDOM, right? This is what I actually used to use her with. I used to use her crit. I used to put a crit on her necklace and use this second skill, so she would decrease combat readiness, and while she's doing that, she's critting, so my CDOM can move and give combat readiness, which is not bad because she already has a lot of base speed, you know. And then on top of that, if you burn her, she gets an extra skill. So an extra skill, make her more OP. No, she gets an extra turn, which decreases combat readiness and increases the duration of the debuffs. So, or you can even go for a stun. Like it's a really low chance, but there's still a chance. So, what gear should you put on her? Where should you use her? What artifacts should you put on her? I would suggest for PvP, Arena, whatever, I would use speed and broken set. If you don't have any 2 set, just broken set, however fast you can make her. However, like the substats you can look for is speed, effectiveness is always good. Like all her skills deal debuffs, so you have to have effectiveness on her. So what teams should you use her in? I mean, like I said, just having her second skill having a decreased combat readiness by 50%, your team does not have to be so speed efficient, just because you're able to do that. So if you're like me and doesn't have really good gear luck, she can help you a lot. For Guild Wars, of course, she's really good. She still does, on top of her doing her AoE, she does damage as well, which is really good. I actually use her in a funny comp. I call it a waifu comp because I use Tamarine, Dizzy, and Isaria, which is really good because you just have so much control, so much cleanse, so much everything that you're able to you're able to just beat them just because of control, defense break, AoE stuns and whatnot. So she can be good there. I think I've seen her used. I used to actually use her a year ago. I used to struggle with Wyvern 11. Now there's 12 and 13. I used to struggle with her with Wyvern 11, and with her I was able to actually beat it just because of decreased attack and hit. It helps so much because it won't do so much damage to the front line. Even now, you can use her in Wyvern 13. I think she's a lot more useful now than she was a year ago, just because of how many debuffs she has on her. If you don't know Wyvern 13, you need a lot of debuffs for him to not just completely wreck your team. So PvE, I feel like Wyvern, she's really good. If you want to use her in Banshee, I don't think she's the best there, but she does have AoEs which deal with the waves, especially since there's like the first wave you get in there and the waves when she summons them. So I don't think she's the worst, but I don't think she's the best. She's kind of just in the middle. Good for AoEs, decreased combo readiness, all that good stuff. So PvE, she's solid. PvP, she's solid. I think people even use. I think I used to use her in Abyss as well. Not the smartest thing, but she worked just because she's able to control so much. I used to use her in Labyrinth as well, just because across the line she was just helping me so much. So yes, like 15 out of 10. You need to summon her. If you're just starting the game, she will help you so much just because of how much she's weakening everybody. So for artifacts, I used to use Etika Scepter. I think I still have Etika Scepter on her actually, just because she does. Let me go ahead and check. I believe I still have it on her. Yes, I do. I still have 38% chance to decrease skill cooldown by 1 turn at the beginning of the turn. So like she can continuously be using her skills so much because she has such a low cooldown. If we look here, it's a 4-turn cooldown, and then like she'll have it in like 2 turns if Etika Scepter procs. And then this is every 3 turns. So it'd be like every 2 turns she has it. Like it's just insane. Etika Scepter, I think is actually in the shop right now. So if you don't have it, get it before it runs out. But she's really good with Etika Scepter. Her own artifact is really good on her, which is increases combo readiness by 14% per AoE, I believe. And all of her skills are AoE, so that's good. It's not that it's bad. It's just I feel like Etika Scepter is more up there. What else can you use? I feel like that's the best one. If you want to, you can use what's that one? The book, Tagahel's book. Sorry, I couldn't think of that. Tagahel's book. If you want to use it on her, you can. Just because if she does already have, if you're gonna use the team comp that I suggested, she can have an extra turn and then boom, control. Right away. So, like I said, 15 out of 5. Whatever. I suggest her completely. If nobody has hyped it for you, I'm hyping her for you. Get her. If you don't have enough to go around, you're like, oh man, I don't have enough bookmarks. I don't spend a lot of money. I don't have a lot of sky stones. Then I'd suggest just saving until this girl comes out. She's extremely good. The other ones are extremely good as well. I feel like the only ones that are gonna be banners are gonna be Bacon, her, and the new one, Elephant or whatever her name is, Valentine. Those are gonna be the banners. But if you don't have enough to go around, I would suggest her. I'm still not sure how the Valentine one is going to be. She might be game changing, but I feel like this girl would help you out so much across the board. So yeah, but anyways, that is it for today's video. If I did miss something, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below, and I hope this was helpful. I don't usually do a lot of these, try to help videos or educational videos, I guess you can say, because everybody usually covers it, but I feel like I just want to put emphasis in this because a lot of people missed out, or a lot of people came in right after the collaboration and they missed out so much, and because of that they're like, oh man, I don't have Dizzy, I can't use Dizzy against Dizzy, like that. People are doing that, and it's just people suffered for a year. So now that she's coming back, get her. Bacon, if you have enough, get all of them. Try to get all of them. Me personally, I already have I'm not gonna try to get imprints and whatnot. I don't think they're really important. The one I want to save for is Valentine because she's a new unit, especially since they're limited. If you don't know what limited is, they're not gonna come into the Covenant rotation, so you can't just summon them on the Covenant bookmarks. Like once they get off of the banner, that is it. You can't summon them anymore. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It is an extremely long video. I don't know why. My voice is giving out, so hopefully y'all enjoyed. I know it's just me rambling, and hopefully I made sense for the most part. If you have any questions, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. Somebody or I will answer. I usually go on there and read them, so if you do have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer the best I can. I'm not the best and I'm not the smartest, but I'll give advice based off of what I know. So like I said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Every like, comment, subscription is appreciated. I hope to see you on the next video or stream. All right, peace.